Good morning, it's Shanna. We are back for a comparison between the Hedgewitch Tarot, which is a new release by Llewellyn. Here's the box. And if I can find the box, the Greenwitch Tarot, which has been out for years now, also by Llewellyn. In case you're curious, because I was curious, I'm going to zoom out just a hair. So the difference between these two boxes is, oh my gosh, not good at this, is quite a lot. So they are side by side on this side. So you've got probably about maybe like half an inch or so difference over here. And probably, I don't know, 2 inches shorter. So I would say they're similar in width. So I do like the smaller box. So I'm not really sure how I want to do this, other than I just wanted to compare them, because for me, when I saw Hedgewitch, I was like, nah, I don't really want it to compete with my Greenwitch, because I do very much love my Greenwitch. But this one was so intriguing to me, and because Llewellyn sent it to me, I was given the opportunity to try it out without spending any money, right? So I thought, if I'm curious about the comparison between the two, you probably might be as well. So the first thing I will say is that the Greenwitch is very glossy and the Hedgewitch is matte. I don't really have a preference. I like them both for their own aesthetic. I'll be honest, I feel like I like that the matte doesn't glare when I'm filming, but I think the glossy is more aesthetic. Just a preference. And maybe not for every single deck, but in these two, I would say that the Greenwitch, I prefer the cardstock of the Greenwitch over the Hedgewitch. So here are the backs. They are identical in size, and I would say they do feel different. Like, obviously it's different paper, but they're about equally as bendy. So they're, they shuffle as well as each other. So besides that, I will just kind of flip through unless I have something of value to add, and try to keep these stacks straight. All right, so we have the Wizard and the Witch. I will try not to stare at these too long, but they are quite beautiful. Even together, I think they could play well together. The Greenwitch is one that I typically pull out in September. We have the Crone and the High Priestess. And it takes me through probably November, give or take, the Greenwitch. But I would say for the Hedgewitch, I think I could pick it up in November and have it take me through December, because I feel like this is very much a holiday vibe kind of deck with the opulent colors. It's very rich. Oh, we've got the Empress and the Earth Mother. The Emperor and the Horned God. Has anyone else noticed, if you watch Kate at Moonflower Moments, how no matter how many times she pulls a card off the top, the deck is still perfectly straight? Witchcraft, I tell you. I can't seem to manage to keep mine straight. We have the Alchemist and the High Priest. I don't think that these decks will compete with each other in the least. I think they each have their own very separate energy. Cupids, the Lady and the Lord. The Chariot and the Battle Wagon. Strength and the Crone. I like that both decks have a crone card. I appreciate that. We have the Hermit and the Holly King. The Wheel of Fortune. As Wheel of Fortunes go, I like both of these cards. I think sometimes the Wheel can be one of the more boring cards, but I think both of these are lovely to look at and have multiple things to, to offer in a reading. Justice and the Standing Stone. I hadn't noticed this when I did the walkthrough, but I like how he's covering his face. This is interesting. Like, it's almost like he's hiding something. Uh-oh. Okay, I had to stop recording and start again because I couldn't get it to focus. Anyway, I like how he's covering his mouth. I think that's interesting, and I think that could be an interesting layer to the Justice card. Let's move on. The Oak King and the Hanged Man. Death and the Lord of Shadows. I think the Green Witch, because it has so many changed titles, could potentially be difficult for beginners, but because it's numbered versus Roman numerals, I think that lends to more of a beginner-friendly deck. So I think the Hedgewitch can also be good for a beginner. I think there's enough symbolism and things happening in the cards that you can decipher what the card is trying to tell you. So we have Temperance and the She. The Devil and Nature. I love this Devil card. I mean, I like him too, but this one's just so devilly. All right, we have the Tower and the Wild Hunt, and my other dog wants outside. Which I can't blame him. The sun is shining, and he is a very short-haired dog. He loves to go lay in the sun. All right, we have the Star and the Star. I think both of these are beautiful. I think they both bring their own energy to the card. We have the Moon. The Sun. Speaking of the sun, can you see the prism, the rainbow here? I hung 3 prisms in my window, so my entire living room and kitchen dining room area is covered in prisms. I love it. We have the Sun and the Sun. I think both cards are beautiful. I love that we left sunflowers out of the Hedgewitch card. I don't mind sunflowers in the card. Like, they're just not really my favorite. But I like when we can deviate from predictable occasionally. We have Judgment and Harvest. The World and the World Tree. Sorry, I'm kind of obsessing over keeping these straight. All right, we have, oops, these are out of order, darn it. Queen, King. Just stacked them wrong. All right, Ace of Wands. If I was going to pick favorites, which, why? Because I love these both. I would pick the Green Witch. I just like the juiciness of this one, but I do love the holiday vibe of this one. This is very fall. This feels very winter to me. Two of Wands. I'm hoping, and I dug into the guidebook just a little bit when I did the walkthrough of the Hedgewitch, but I'm hoping that it does mention the rabbit, which I'm pretty sure it does. I think it was in the border section of the guidebook, because I know the Green Witch does discuss the little animal that's in each card, which I appreciate. I like that aspect of it. Three of Wands, Four of Wands. I love this Four of Wands. Five. Six of Wands. I will say on this one, this one doesn't feel quite as like celebratory as this Six of Wands. So I think for that reason, you know, this one, if you want a little more traditional, obviously the Green Witch, but I just like the vibe of this one as well. So I have no issues with this at all. Seven of Wands. Eight. It's interesting that in both of these cards, neither of them have that traditional Eight of Wands movement. There's my crow friend again. He likes to chime in when I do my videos, which actually I kind of love. Nine of Wands. 10 of Wands. Again, I like how this one deviates kind of from that traditional sense of, you know, carrying a heavy load or the burden. Although this one, I think, knowing what it is, I think you can get from this that she's about to go fill that, you know, fill that vessel with something. And so are you willingly taking on those burdens? I like that concept. Princess of Wands and Page of Wands. I love that the Hedgewitch included runes on this one. Prince of Wands and Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. King of Wands. I just love this. I don't know my mythological creatures, but whatever this is called, I love him for this card. It's beautiful. Ace of Swords and Ace of Athames. I love this little guy. He's so cute. Two of Swords and Two of Athames. Three of Swords, Three of Athames. I love how neither of these cards are the traditional heart with swords through it. I like to be able to get more from the Three of Swords than just that traditional image. Here we have the Four. I do like in this one how, even though it's kind of that card of rest, she's still being active in the moment. Whatever it is she's going through, she's being active. But you know, she's sitting, and so maybe it's more about what's happening in her mind versus what's happening physically, which I appreciate. I do like this one. That's kind of the traditional vibe of this card. Got 5. 6. 7. 8. Such a pretty image. 9, 10, man, princess and page, prince and knight. I still think it's interesting that there's no figure, human figure in this. Crow agrees. So it would be interesting to see what the guidebook says. Should we pull it out? We'll just pull out one for this video. Prince of Swords. Impulsivity. Pegasus, proud and noble, flies through a cloudless sky. His wide wings cover the page, almost as we see his feathers brimming with splendor. He embodies truth and justice. I wouldn't want to interrupt what Crow has to say. And all bow to him. He appears brave, but almost conceited, and has an air of superficiality about him. So, interesting. Like, I almost kind of got the vibe that maybe the knight or the prince had fallen off, and maybe that's what this kerfuffle with the leaves is, which, you know, depending on the reading, you could definitely interpret it that way, but as far as the guidebook goes, it's just the Pegasus. Queen of Swords. I love how strong this queen looks. Oh, look at her with her little prism. Love that. So does Crow. King of Swords. Ace of Cups, Ace of Chalices. Two of Cups, Two of Chalices. 3. Crow is chatty today. 4 of Cups. 5. 6. 7 of Cups. 8. It's almost like he's counting with me. Isn't that pleasant? Actually, I love it. I really do. And I also love that the prism is falling on my cards. 9. 10. I really like this card. This one's very sweet. Princess and Page. Knight and Prince. Queen. King, and I love these two together. They're so pretty. All right, now we have Pentacles, so we're on the Ace. I mentioned it in the walkthrough. I love that the Pentacles is sort of that Christmas theme. Really love that because it lends itself to using this deck in Christmas, during Christmas time, in the winter. 3 of Pentacles. 4. 5. Now my cat has decided to eat, so you can hear him crunching. We have the 6. I said it last time, this looks to me like she's feeding them bagels with cream cheese. Am I wrong? It cracks me up. All right, 7. 8. 9. 10. Princess and Page. Prince and Knight. Queen. Goodness. And King. I will say I do like the kings in the Hedgewitch far more than I do in the Greenwitch. The kings in this deck are all kind of... I just don't love the way they're portrayed. Anyway, just a preference. So that is the Hedgewitch and the Greenwitch. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope this was helpful. Let me know, do you have both of these decks? Do you intend to have both of them? And if not, or if so, do you have a preference? I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments. Enjoy your week, and I will catch up with you next time.